Agenda is all about the inaugural gender dialogue and launch of the 40th anniversary of Ghana's National Women's Machinery. 40 years, 1975 to 2015. I'm sure until the ministry, led by the minister and her deputies, decided to bring us all together to mark this milestone, most of us would have forgotten about it.
Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, our eminent chair is a traditional ruler who come there, has since her installment resolved over 300 different disputes within the Mampo traditional area through alternative dispute resolution. Your Excellencies, our chairperson, in support of women and girls' empowerment through education and skills development, established the DFA Foundation for Children in aid of girls' education. Our gallant chair also initiated the formulation of the Asanteman Queen Mothers Association, a platform to find solutions to the problem confronting women. She has also been very involved and instrumental in several gender development and women's health and empowerment initiatives, both locally and internationally. The chairperson for the commemoration of the August milestone has been a Queen Mother since the year 2000. And she's a member of the Asante Mampon Traditional Council. She is also the president of the Asanteman Queen Mothers Association, with a membership of 6,000 female traditional rulers to push development agenda in their respective communities. She is also a member of the Otumfos Charity Foundation. It is therefore with pride for me to introduce to you, Your Excellencies, our distinguished chair for today in the person, and I want you all to help in acknowledging the Asante Mamponhima, Nana Ejekuma Difie II, the chair. We thank you very much for coming around to chair.
I feel honored to participate in this inaugural gender dialogue and the launching of the 40th anniversary celebration of Ghana Women's Machinery as a chairperson. The mere pronouncement of the phrase gender dialogue at any point in time gives the impression that there had been incident of discrimination along gender lines in some aspect of our activities. The divestiture in cultural and religious practice in the country influence our thoughts and behavior towards the opposite sex. Organizations, associations, and formal groups do not only celebrate anniversaries to allow their achievement, but use such occasion to reflect on past activities which led them to their current state, and as well plan for the future based on the results for various decisions made in the past. I want to use this occasion to congratulate the Ghanaian women and girls who stay as part as we celebrate the gender dialogue we are celebrating today. I wish you all the fruitful celebration. Thank you very much.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, members of the media, I welcome you all to this inaugural gender dialogue. This is one of many others to follow. Today is very historic because we're looking back at 40 years of this nation's relentless campaign and advocacy to empower the Ghanaian woman. Our National Women's Machinery has, by its mandate, to advise governments on issues of women. We have spoken to the ears of every head of state of Ghana since 1975. And if life begins at 40, then the next 40 years, we promise you, would even be more eventful. Today, we are launching the 40th anniversary of the Women's Machinery. We have come a long way as Ghanaian women, and we have stood the test of time. 68.5% of women are literate. We also look at the gender parity. School enrollment is also increased, and you'd be told that Ghana is one of the best performing countries in terms of girls' education. Over the years, our women's machinery has gone through transformation. From the National Commission on Women and Development, it became the Ministry of Women Affairs and attained cabinet status. We are now Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection. We have an expanded mandate.
The legal framework has been established, but laws don't implement themselves. Laws require institutions, but more importantly, a very willing civil society and a very willing public that is more than ready to make sure that those laws are respected. Our track record has been less than stellar. And let us work together with the institutions that have been established to make sure that these issues are addressed. We should also make sure that we value our girls a little bit more. And the same premium that we put on our female children is the same premium we put on our male children. The First Lady here herself, she certainly would have had a lot more to say, especially on the issue of our young children, orphans, and social protection, because that is also an issue very dear to her heart. But I'm sure she'll have the opportunity to meet with you again, and so I'll leave that for her to say in person. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much.
Then came the dialogue session where panelists discussed Ghana's women machinery, achievements and challenges.
Madam Hillary, you heard our two ministers talking about, for the first time we have the greatest number of women here. For the first time this, but really 40 years of the women's machinery in this country. Have we achieved anything at all?
Thank you, Gifty. I think we have made remarkable achievements. Indeed, I will follow it up with a caveat that we could have done so much more. And so much more is and has been expected of us, because we were the first country, sub-Saharan Africa, to introduce affirmative action. So it is expected that so many years after independence, we should have had, building on the initial policies and action, we should have had many, many, many more than we have today.
If for nothing else, where we are today, these things are talked about, and the issue of women's rights has become so mainstream that even the dialogue on equality is taken for granted. It's going to be a very foolhardy man who will come out now publicly and say that women should not have rights, for instance, to participate in political life in Ghana. There's so much more we can do, but I think let's acknowledge that we've done some, and then we can continue and strategize for the world.
So much. Is it time for us to pat ourselves on the back, or is time for us to worry and stand up and say that, well, for all the work that has been done by our predecessors, this is not where we should be, and therefore we have to fight harder?
I look at both sides of the coin. We have done well over the past 40 years. We could have done better, but we must not dismiss the gains we have made. And we still should work harder. We can do much better than we have even done. And it's been a journey. And even when we look back, even before the 40 years, and that's why I'm happy our traditional leaders are here and our Queen Mothers are still playing that critical role in traditional governance. We are looking at strengthening our coordinating role and also gathering the data and working across board with the various sector ministers and ministries to address some of the issues.
Thank you very much. And talking about let's all work at it. Honourable Minister, from the hands that you saw up, it should tell you that there are more questions and more comments. Everybody has something very important to say. This is the inaugural gender dialogue, so hopefully there'll be more. And if what the Minister for Foreign Affairs said is anything to go by, and the various comments that the support she had, maybe the next one we should have all the sector ministers headed by women for us to dialogue and find out what they are doing or what is being done in their various ministries.